background about MSO, Cleland. Over the years, MSO has been in existence since 1876. I've been working with the company about 17 years. Through various acquisitions, takeovers, etc., etc. We are now part of a group of companies called the Carton Care Group, which consists of Carton Care Limited based in Newry, and MSO Cleland in Belfast, and Pendragon Presentation Packaging, which is based in Malvern on the Welsh-English border. We all share a common manufacturing sector, which is packaging. Pendragon is very high-end packaging, so MSO will send you 1,000 cartons for £50. They'll sell you one carton for £50. What's going into their carton is substantially more valuable than what we're going to ours. Carton Care Limited are very much more like MSO in that they're solid board cartons, but they manufacture flexographic. We're litho. So, folding cartons is the main part of our business. Self-adhesive labels on site, on the same site as the carton business. Rigid presentation boxes we have done traditionally in Belfast. That's moving to our Pendragon partners. Shaped tubes we still manufacture some in Belfast, but it's a very competitive market and possibly not our best suit. So our core competence of each of the Carton Care sites, basic cartons and labels. Loop Design is a division of MSO Cleland in-house in Belfast, where we offer structural and graphic design solutions to our customers. Typically we will get a brief from a customer which will entail food styling, photography, graphic design or structural design, depending on what the customer's needs, wants and desires are. So we have to listen to what the customer is trying to achieve, and then we give them a fit-for-purpose solution, and hopefully the supply chain matches all that as well. In terms of value engineering and innovation, I know sustainability is part of that today, but there are significant challenges in the market. We have to find materials that are fit for purpose. What does that really mean? Well, what does the customer want the packaging to do? Very often we have a vague notion from the customer, but when you drill down into that, you have to look at the design of the carton to meet the demands of the manufacturer, the demands of the retailer, and also the demands of all the stakeholders around that, including ourselves. Construction design efficiencies can help in sustainability. Recently we were involved in a project with a customer of ours in Scotland who knew that he was getting a very good price for a very high volume carton for biscuit product. He knew he also had to get a saving on those for his stakeholders, so he came to us with a request. Now, dropping the price is not always just the way to do it, because margin is affected obviously straight away. So when we look at the design of the carton, in some instances, and this is as an example, we were able to take some weight out of the product, not by dropping the board micron, but by dropping the dust flap or closure flaps by a certain percentage. The result of that was we took 7% out of the weight of the carton. Board is sold on weight. It resulted in a 3% saving to the customer. He got 2% and we took 1%. So it was a win-win situation. Obviously, when we change high volume carton designs, it has an effect on the other stakeholder at the food business organisation, which was the filling line. Was it going to run properly down the line? So obviously then we have to work with Brabham Lake or Jacob Hyde or Fremantle or whoever the supplier of that particular product is to our customer, to ensure that it works properly. So you're involved in line trials in there. Then in the retail environment, is that working on shelf? Has it been compromised? So all those considerations have to come into play. So MSO, we have in cartons, we've got 2 kBA litho presses, a 6 colour and an 8 colour. We are a low migration ink site exclusively. We took that decision to go low migration exclusively on both presses in April 2015. We had one press which we bought originally 6 years ago, which was nothing except low migration. But because of EU legislation and directives, it's coming down the tracks. Most of us guys are now in that space, some aren't. But we canvassed our customer base, and what they say they want to do and what they actually do can be two different things. But the pressure is coming on there, and that's the way it's going to go, so we may as well be in that space from the get-go. We cut, crease, window patch and fold, glue, label application, foiling in-house. We have CTP, which I suppose every self-respecting person does at this stage. In labels, we have 3 nil preter presses, 2 8 colours, 5 colour, and all this finishing equipment. In terms of accreditations, I come from a farming background, and many years ago my father said to me, you have to be an accountant to be a farmer nowadays. I think with the amount of paperwork coming from the retailers, coming from the accreditations bodies, you don't have to be an accountant, but you certainly have to have at least 2 people working in administration just to cover the paperwork, the specification documents, all the paraphernalia around managing the relationships with our customer base. So, the owner and chairman of the Cartons Group is a guy called Ralph Chalmers, and through other companies, Ralph's stewardship in the group has access to innovative patented technologies around brand protection and the highest level of government documents. That gives us access to a whole range of brand security issues that are cropping up again and again in markets and market sectors you would be surprised, food being one of them. So what we seek is long-term, mutually beneficial partnerships. That's, you know, sometimes partnerships is a really abused word, but certainly there are people there who are engaged in doing it properly, and those are the type of people we want to work with. In terms of sustainability then, we work with cellulose fibre board exclusively. It's all biodegradable when we get it, but what happens after we touch it? Is it foil blocked? Is there PE coating on it? There is a certain amount I have found of green washing going on in the market, where people will say one thing and do the complete opposite. About 10 years ago we were involved in what was called the Coulthard Agreement, where all the retailers came together and decided they were going to take X amount of percent out of the weight of materials. It's all fine and well. We partnered with some of our customers and we achieved an 18% saving by moving from a white line chip to a solid board virgin fibre. The net result of that was a 10% increase in price, so it was shelved. So all the work that was done there, the reality is the commercial impact means it's not sustainable. The stakeholders for us are the retailer, the food business organisation and ourselves. So it's triumvirate there to work together closely to give a solution that's fit for purpose. What exercises the retailers, and some of them are doing it right. Marks and Spencers especially are trying to do the right thing. That's their catchphrase. They want to sustain a supply chain that is responsible. They are very heavily involved, as are a lot more retailers now, in monitoring materials, monitoring how things are being manufactured, and they get very involved in the supply chain. That is resulting in a reduced number of accredited and approved print suppliers. It gives them a look on shelf that is consistent, so they manage their brand in that way as well. The stakeholders there are the design agencies who work with the retailers, who are challenging in terms of what they're trying to achieve and what can actually be printed afterwards. And some days they will bring to the table stuff that's not sustainable. Sustainable just isn't about the material supply chain, or it just isn't about cost saving, it just isn't about doing the right thing. Sustainable is also about having a supply chain that can be maintained so that everybody knows what's coming down the tracks. The food business organisations, they work in themselves with a number of their own stakeholders. You've got commercial, you've got manufacturing, you've got their own salespeople who interact with the category managers in the retailers. They sometimes don't understand the packaging. They don't understand what's going to happen when they ask for something, or can I have 80 samples? Well, what does that mean? Can I have 200,000 units on Monday, but it's Friday? What does that mean? So all of these things have to be managed by ourselves. Ourselves then, we liaise between the retailer and the food business organisation. We liaise with the graphic designers. What is it they're trying to achieve? The first question I would ask many people is, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to get to? What does the packaging have to do? How hard does it have to work? Where does it sit on the shelf? Is it ambient, chilled, frozen? What does that mean? And very often, the food business organisation, the purchaser, doesn't really know. So we're guiding people in that respect, and there is an onus on us to provide a fit-for-purpose solution. Yes, that's sustainable because we know it's been driven by the retailers. They want to be in a responsible position. They are being audited, we are being audited. All the accreditations have to be met. So there is an onus on people to do the right thing, by their customers and also by the end user. There have been in the past some issues around benzophenone leaking into product. That's driven the industry in a certain direction. And if people aren't able to meet those requirements, effectively they're being frozen out. So, supply chain support again, understanding where the material is coming from, what happens to it, where is it going, is it running down the line at 180 packs a minute? Why isn't it? Some people would take a shortcut to drop the material grade to make an effective saving, but the ice cream is all over the floor, so that doesn't work for anybody. Approved suppliers I've just touched on. There is a big drive in terms of approved supplier status across the retailers. Most of us deal with the retailers in one manner, shape or form. FTP dates, we're all aware of FTP dates where you're working with designers for retailers. They are pushing the envelope right to the end, but the launch date never moves. So again, in terms of sustainability of the supply chain, understanding the customer's needs, is getting into that space and working closely with them. FSC, PEFC, those accreditations are more and more becoming the norm. Some retailers will say that they want it as a prerequisite. When the pressure is on, that tends to slide a little bit. Again, you have to work very, very closely with the food business organisations or the distillers or whoever is in that area to agree where and how we can plan for demand or plan for holding inventory. So, lastly, who drives sustainability? Retailers can, governments will, through legislation, and by using clever, innovative design, packaging design. That's the way forward, to work with people to get a shared and common result, and that's basically it. So, thank you.
Thanks very much, Paddy. Any questions?